All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. It is Thursday evening, 7 p.m. We're live at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. We are live as every week. Jack did it solo, as he's done so many times before. He doesn't really need me, but I'm glad to be here. And we're back with Liberty Aid Academy. And tonight's show says cash in on the trust testimonials. So if you've made a testimonial, I'm going to show off the site that I built and go over what you can do too if you've used the trust the way you should and are having success. You should share it with people. And so I'll give you a pretty close to free and easy way to do that. Before we do that, John, welcome. Is there any major announcements or anything you want to start with?
No, not everything has been revealed. No, it's good to have Tim Judge back in the house. Did fly solo last week and without any of the bells and whistles or Tim or anything. So, it was like, oh yeah, I remember when.
Yeah.
But walked out in that nostalgic look. But it's good to have you back.
Yes.
Because we reached more people just talking because everyone's like that. What that guy is no,
Yeah.
but it's like two guys. It's like wait a second. So no,
Yep.
it's great to have you. Things are going smoothly. It's summertime. Everybody's out partying, having a great time. I'm in Florida. I go to the beach. I'm like, wow, okay, is this a new level of fun reached? It looks like possibly good on y'all. Florida's a lot like that. They're having fun.
Excellent. Yeah, we had some major storms over the weekend, and I had a tree come down in my yard. So I did plenty of chopping with that, and
uh,
some other flooding stuff going on. So it was not. I was not on vacation,
no,
just in
that's
case
not
you were
good.
wondering.
I'm sorry to hear that,
But
actually.
no, I mean we had a little event last Thursday that I did go to, but after that, I was back to work and back to real work. Frank's here, says greetings, John and Tim. Yes, greetings to you. Thanks for showing up. Looks like we got over a dozen people here already. Please ask your questions live. I am going to show off my website just so that people could see that. But if you have any questions, we will surely address them and get to them right away. But if you
Never
want me to,
never been stumped if you get a question. Who
that's right.
says that? Who's that crazy? Yeah, never. Okay, never been stumped. Okay, so if
I
you get a
I
question,
was I was thinking, what is it? One person's crazy, but two people starts the movement. I think that's what it
ah,
is. So I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to be here, starting the movement. And it's getting there, right? Pamela Poe is in the house. Hello, John and Tim. Praying for you both. Have a wonderful
if
day.
they able to pose on it on the movement, yeah, it's a movement. So yeah, because
Excellent.
number one in the house.
Excellent. Yeah. So anytime you think of a question or anything like that, please jump right in. But I'm gonna show this off. This is my site, which is howtrumpgotrich.com, and I built this to back it way up. All I did was start a Gmail account with howtrumpgotrich at gmail.com. You can email me there. I'll put that in there. But this is the website that you can build through Google, right? So it's free to build this website. And the site actual name goes sites.google.com. So that has a lot of authority, that has a lot of power with Google. So when you build a site on there, it does start you off with some real juice other than, having your own name. But I do have that howtrumpgotrich.com, and it's forwarded to this site, so it goes straight there. And this is the site. And basically, if you scroll down, you get to, how the trust can help you protect your home, how it can protect your cars, and how you can run a business and put it up through there. So those are three things there, and then I'm going to fill out my bio section, right? And these things, it's a pretty much a template, and you can fill it out super simple, and check that out. And then stories and updates. This is Mar-a-Lago. There's a nice car, but this will be a blog where I can put up current information, or I'm going to post these shows into there. So you can post these shows so that people realize that there is a movement going on, and not just you're sending them down some dead end road. And then the last one I named Trust Me, which is what I linked up to now. So this, and I mentioned last week, was my ticketing system is through Zephy. So you can see the link right there, Zephy.com. And that is the free, what do they call that? Point of sale type service,
Gateway.
payment gateway for charities, trusts, and the like. So you can open up a free account. It does not cost anything to you to run that. Usually, you can get fees of 3%, 5%, anything is crazy. But when you make this up in there, and I'll just show the link because what happens is, so now I'll put down, this says parenting tips, but I'm going to put a post to this show right here saying how I created it, why I created it, all that kind of stuff. And then people can buy this right here. If you click on Zephy, it opens up that payment gateway and you end up there. How to Earn God's Trust is the trust I'm running it through. And then How Trump Got Rich, you can buy it there. And if you hit add, now I have it down for $249. I don't know if that meets your approval, Jack, but what I did was it says get the Trump Millionaire course written by John McCaig and get 15% off the trust bundle, a $375 value.
I love it. That's clever.
And so $249, yeah. And then there's going to be I'm going to do a little bonus line that if you buy this course from me, right, the Trump Millionaire course, I will do a 20, 30-minute walkthrough of why you want to get the trust and take it a step farther. So
Very cool.
the bonus round of why you would want to do that. So I can walk you through the whole trust course and then finish the sale, which would be to get the bundle and take advantage of the discount inside that. So when you make this on Zephy as well, it's what do you want to do? This up here, it says ticketing, right? So it's a ticket, and it says thank you for purchasing the ticket, right? This is called a ticket, this course, and then it gives me. I was allowed to put in a link to the PDF, which has the discount link in it that you created for us, right? So anybody who made a testimonial gets that from Tammy and has the link in it where they would get 15% off, 1.5, and they can claim, the 375 off the price of the course, the bundle, right? And that comes delivered the moment you hit add. So if I hit add, it's going to ask for name and email, and then it goes to the checkout. You will put your credit card in, and then as soon as you send it, this Zephy sends out a thank you email with the link to the course in it. And so building this course is building this website on Google Sites is free. Using the checkout through Zephy is free. The only thing I paid for, and you don't even have to have it, but it just makes it nice, was I got the domain name, howtrumpgotrich.com, and that's through Unstoppable Domains, which on every Friday, you can get a .com for $5. So there you have it. That's it in a nutshell. That is the course. And then here it is. If on the back end, if you wanted to look and I wanted to change something, it's very easy, cut and paste, and you can pick any template you want to use. They're all there, and you just click this and change the image, upload your own image. Very simple stuff. So there's really no reason anybody that's got a testimonial done and they have this course, build yourself a simple little website and get it done, and you can start collecting on your investment, right?
That is so great. It's amazing. I have some feedback because it's so good what you did. First of all, I'm not doing consults for anyone. I have quit doing that. So that's you doing a consult, fill it in. I've left a gap there, and you're using that. So, in the end, really, people are getting this course for free. They're getting it for a testimony. It didn't cost you money.
Right.
But basically, you use it as a webinar, a sales thing, but, the information they need so much.
Yeah.
More than anything else. And then you are getting $249 for an hour of your time or half hour or however you're doing it. I think that's wonderful because, of course, your information is worth that. And, they get totally more filled in with a little bit of time. It took many years for us to build a sales funnel and all our pieces of our information, so I don't have
Hmm.
to do consults and like sort of handhold everyone. But Tammy does a lot of it,
Right.
and
Right.
so and so that you're doing that, it really fills a need, and from a true expert, someone doing it. Uh, I think people will really be happy with. So I leave a missing space there for that anyway. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So clever. I love that part of it. I just what else do I love? What else do I love about uh oh that was the thing that came to me first. I'll think of some more things I did while
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I probably should have wrote them all down, but that's amazing.
Yeah. And
What?
it will grow a little bit, and I'll send you it when I polish it up just a little bit
Oh,
more. But
uh,
I would just wanted to show everybody how easy it is to build a little something, because when you're at a party and you say, "Oh yeah, I have a trust and it's done this for me and that for me," and somebody goes home and they forget or whatever, and then you want to send them a link and say, "Look, just start here, right? Start here. It's 249, and if you do that, then we'll dive in and have anybody can have a conversation. You want to call it a coaching call or consulting or whatever, or just say, look, I'll spend half an hour with you going through that Trump Millionaire course and everything it does, and then explain to you why the classroom inside, when you get the bundle and you get the classroom and you get all the stuff, that it's worth even more, right? So they'll understand everything then. So, little steps, and they'll get that discount. So they're getting all their money back right away. They're actually saving money, right? Because I left that little gap too, right? 249 to 350. So they're getting $100 off and some personal hand holding from me, but I'm getting paid for it. So it's a win-win-win, right? 3 wins in a row.
Completely. Also, you could turn a link into a QR code too,
Sure.
and just be, like have a little, something so you say, and then there's that code, or someone's like, "Hey, you wanna?" You could. That's a way people don't think of it, but that can be helpful,
Yeah,
especially.
whatever name you want. I picked howtrumpgotrich.com because I thought people would remember that. You can go and get your own name, timjudge.com, or whatever.com you want. It's $5. And you can't go wrong there. Something somebody's going to remember, so that they can go poking around, and then they'll finally ask you a question and they'll say, "Oh, do I really need this?" And you go, "Look, if you want to have a longer conversation, just get it and I'll walk you through the whole thing." And then
Yeah,
you've made your money. The whole idea, and the whole reason this was written, is so that we can sell it and expand John's reach and expand our get paid back a little bit for all of our knowledge. But of course we can't do those things for them without them owning the trust. So you open that door and give them a discount in the back, so they're going to love you for it, right?
yeah, absolutely. Realtors like Tim Judge here always looking for an answer to people's question and use it themselves. By the way,
Yeah.
oh, who's a great AC person? Who you got a roofer? You got a how do we get out of that text thing? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like here you go. That, and they want it to be easy, explain itself, do the job for them. I'm here if you need me to talk you through it. No problem. It's such a helpful way to go about things. And this would be helpful too, because up until now, like having this option, for example, what I've heard another realtor who does this work a lot, she's got the link to Liberty Academy like up on her sales page and everything like that.
Hmm.
Whereas this would be more like, hey, do you want to find out do you need any help with any finances? Here's a link to that, or
Right.
you can say it in different ways too in amongst your other business that you're doing, you know?
Right.
And also on the back end side, not just in your front end of your marketing and stuff, call it out the front end. In your back end, most people, not most people, I don't know. A lot of people now have a website or some online sales methodology.
Hmm.
I've been at this 50 years. That's all I've been doing. So I haven't looked up. I mean, I've been doing it 50 years. I'm sure other people are doing it now. And a lot of them, it's hard not to. Uh, But on the back end, if you're already selling something, you could incorporate it into your website, your sales funnel, whatever,
Hmm.
just as an extra piece if you're already doing that, whatever it is. Like I was saying, other realtor, just using a realtor example, but
Yep.
that's easy for one to picture, and you're here and stuff like that, and you're doing it. So there are different ways to go about it. I love this way. This is the basics. This is how you do it and have a, place. Every box is checked. There's a way to make the payment. There's enough information. There's a consult. Like, everything's there. I love it.
And really, it starts them down the road where then, I'll have a link to the show, obviously, because we're on here all the time. If you link to any, you want to post any of these YouTube videos, you can post them in there. If they find Liberty Aid Academy and they go to the libertyaidacademy.org, they're going to see that it's more expensive. That they don't get the discount link through. They'll want that through you, unless they find me and say, "Oh, do I want to go through Tim's link or your link or whatever?" I mean, that's that's the power of your friendship and your connection. But if they don't, and you're their anchor, you're their friend, you're their connection, they're going to want to go through you and get the discount, and leave a little room so that they're really saving something,
Yeah,
and but deliver some value, and say, look, I've done X, Y, and Z, and I know it works. So check it out.
I love it.
It'd
I
be
love
great.
it.
It'd be great.
And this is, you only get this for a testimonial. You know what I'm saying? You have the course now if you're a student. We put it into everywhere, but you don't have the link and the course. That's just for people who do testimonials, just to make that distinction. Okay, everyone as current students. Okay.
Ascending higher. God bless both of you and all of your families, and bless all the one they touch. Yes, that's deep.
Whoa! Infinite blessings in return for
There you
your
go.
very clever prayer. Thank you.
Pauletta's here. Welcome, welcome. Blessings to John and Tim and everyone here.
The Twin Towers of Spiritual Power, the sisters. Well, I couldn't be happier to have you here, both of you. Pamela, Pauletta. Wow, we're so blessed.
Samuel Wright asking, greetings. I would like to know how to reach out to Jack regarding a court situation here in Florida.
You, no problem. You would become a student. Students can reach out in the forum. We have a forum, a private forum. It's for students. Is once you become a student, it's not an extra fee, but it's only limited to students because basically signing the trust is a necessary first step to solving any problems that come my way. If you don't do that, I can't help you. So it's kind of pointless for me to answer your question and be like, oh, but you need the trust. I've already proven this for 50 years now. So become a student, go through that. I'm the moderator in there. Okay. I'm the one that answers questions. You can get me in there. And you can email to contact@libertyaidacademy.org, and if Tammy lists you through, if you're a student. Okay. But you could direct message me too in our forum in the classroom as a student. You don't just like have to make it public. Something that's like, hey, I got this court situation. I don't want to tell everybody every detail. That's fine. Okay, okay. Direct message me within our private forum.
Sam says I did it all. All right. Well,
That's
then we'll
fantastic.
find it and track it down.
There
Excellent.
you go. But me directly in the forum is the best. Otherwise, Sammy's like, he's in the forum, go in there if you're already in there. And that's, it's really, no extra fee, and everyone gets me instead of like consults. So that's just wears me out. And I'm saying the same thing over and
Mhm.
over. So instead, we just remove that and heard all the flaws, all the meaning
Yeah.
people that still had questions, in our information until we filled them all with, a video or something written or something so that you understand it. And we solved all that within our school,
Yeah.
but to make me available for it, literally everyone, which is a much better thing because all that information is saved and you
Right.
can query it. There's a search engine in our
The search bar up
yeah,
top is the most powerful line right there in the whole classroom, because you can look up any topic, whether it's business trust in a business, or if it's automobiles in a business, or whatever. You just put that in the search bar. Every conversation that has those words in it is going to come up, and your question
this like
90 times out of 100 will be there.
right. And so let's use this example. Here we are in the forum, right? The classroom, it's Heartbeat app. And so you go into there to the query area and you type in court. Da-da-da, what? And then you go read that stuff and you're going to know a lot,
Mhm.
already by reading that because other people probably asked something pertaining to what's on your mind yourself.
Yes, yes. Robert in the house. Aloha, Jack. Got the master course. Love the trust document. I originally learned about the SSA person through Team Law. R.I.P. Eric Madsen. Hmm. Don't know Eric Madsen.
That's yeah. We learn we get pieces of the puzzle by characters along the path. If they're real or not, I don't know of any, but maybe there are some. But they definitely we do they do leave us breadcrumb trails, and it's always like, oh no, I just bumped my freaking computer. What happened?
You're here. I can hear you.
Okay. Are we coming back? Oh no. Hold on. Sorry. There. Sorry. My screen
That's all right.
just black.
We never lost you.
Okay. My bad. But I used to interview characters like the every character there ever was, and they never actually had any proof, or who knows if they did anything because they never had proof. Robert. So I'm glad you found it true because I got some breadcrumbs out there too, but I never got proof of what I found out. But that's good. There's a turning point where you realize, oh, hey, that's not me. That's a corporate. Cessna KV Trust is just a sub trust of the Ego We Trust. Once
Hmm.
you figure that out, you're like, oh, I need a different corporation. This was totally not working out here. Like, what do you got in there? We have a hidden one that you actually want. Give me the hidden one I actually want. Okay, finally. That's what it's like. So that's an important distinction when you figure out the person. So congratulations on that. Aloha back to you. Never been out to them islands. I
Mm,
don't know if I'll get there, but lived near
me either.
people that have, and I used to surf, so it's very beautiful out there.
Kathy Dance in the house. Do you avoid transfer and inheritance taxes with this trust?
What? How do? Oh my God! Don't you? What a softball! Like, you better go out to the parking lot. I'm going to cream this. You might have to go past the parking lot. I'm gonna hit this out of the park. Answers absolutely. You avoid 100% of them. So yeah. This is just such a fun one to answer. I love it. But yeah, and it's actually super simple, right? I can explain it right now. It's not complex at all. This is the one, trust that's copyrighted to avoid this because it's a Christian loophole that's happening. Okay, you sign up and you avoid taxes, blah, 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 all that stuff. But the trick is once you're using this one type of trust that does it, others don't do it. But this trust does this. So what happens is a trust will be owning whatever. Let's say inheritance tax, we're talking about what? A piece of real estate. Okay, so if a trust owns real estate, and maybe we're talking about stocks. So there's a stock account, like say it's Schwab in the name of a
Hmm.
trust. These are the kind of things we're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Now, to avoid inheritance taxes, you want the individual who's going to inherit, right? And the individual now who's currently alive to be currently both trustees on the trust for
Hmm.
whatever asset or account with stocks in it or account with cash in a bank account, whatever it is. So you see, they're both trustees. So when you say inheritance means, oh, one of those, oh, going to die and not be a trustee anymore. Okay, that's all that happens. See, there's one less trustee to a trust, still a trustee, has a debit card, has ownership, all that stuff. One trustee could make anything happen, sell an asset, blah blah blah. You see, so it's like, well, where's another trustee? Oh, here's a death certificate. Oh, well, okay. Well, it's you have the paperwork, you operate it yourself. So what happens at death? Nothing. No ownership of real estate, stocks, cash. Nothing happened. You see? So
Right.
it's 100% avoidance because nothing actually happens. Death is not tied to the government's squeezy for everything. Finally, what a horrible thing. You're going to die, so we're going to steal your money right now. It's like, no, you're not. So, that's just, you think of it like, okay, an example. Uh, Father, and say there's a daughter in this case. Father and daughter are both, trustees and grantors and trustees. Not, you don't want them to be beneficiary. Don't even name them. You're just trustee. You see? And
Hmm.
so nothing happens. It's not like, oh, now it has to go sue a beneficiary and come out of the trust. No, no, you don't want that. You just want to be both trustees. And what we're talking about, okay, the father passes away and then the daughter is trustee. That's it. There's you still got the debit card, the account's still open. Uh, your name's on the deed as trustee. Sell it, rent it, whatever you want to do, you're doing it because you're a trustee. So just to kind of like make a real answer out of it so you don't have any further questions after we go through this right now. But yeah, good question. Yeah, that's an easy one. Isn't it wonderful? Sorry, everything stays in the family. See you, government. Bye bye.
Right. And maybe another example is, my wife and I own a car, and if I passed away, the car is still hers. You know, and it would probably be pretty easy to give it to one of my kids if we were both gone. But if you put them on before, then it's just their car, and they go driving down the road, and that's that. You don't have to worry about it. Then you think about it like that. That's what it is. The vehicle, if we can use that as the term too. The vehicle is owned or controlled by two people, and one person's gone. That person gets to drive away in the car, and that's it. So the trust is a vehicle to put your assets in, and then you have no worries when you've named a successor trustee or co-trustee, whichever one you want there, right?
Yes, 100%. And the beauty of it is, I think, first of all, both generations have to have a full understanding
Hmm.
of trust. They must know this information to be good at what,
Hmm.
to do what you're talking about. And they must trust each other, which I love the word trust because this trust involves so much trust, you
Right.
know? And so it can be very useful for families in that situation. Well, we trust each other. We just don't want to give anything to the government. Congratulations. Here's the paperwork to do that quite
Right.
simply. We talk about it a lot, but the paperwork's crazy simple. It doesn't take any time at all, and you're avoided. Boop. See ya. Great question.
Jay Fox in from the heat this year. Wow. Thank you.
It's hot
Thank
up
you.
north, huh? Oh man, I went swimming in the
Yeah,
ocean
very
today.
humid.
Beautiful.
Frank's reminding everyone, if you have a question, go to the classroom and you'll find an answer along with other answers that you have yet to ask. True story.
What a great way to put it. Yes,
Yeah.
whatever your topic is, just put it in a topic, and you'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what?"
I go through
Great,
all
great
the
point.
steps of using it. Yeah.
Thank you, Frank.
Robert's back. Preparing the trust, first name, last name. The natural man signs as trustee, just as I did when I signed the SSA person card as trustee. Is the SSA person trustee? No, I'm trustee. Hmm.
It depends on what works for you and who you're talking to, because now we use a person to our benefit. Before it used to have our name on it, and we couldn't get it was stuck to us like Velcro. You know what I mean? Now we're like, oh, turn the Velcro the other way so it sticks to you. You know what I'm saying? So use it as a shield. So you don't have to go into what you just said with them, because if they want you to be the natural person, you're like, what? Natural people can't do anything that only corporations can. I don't have a 9-digit number. What are you talking about? People run corporations. They're not corporation. I don't wait. Are you feeling okay? Do we need to get you to the hospital, sir? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like you can play that way if you need to, because this thing is working in our favor now. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it's your shield, your invisibility click. I'm like, you're like, no, it's yeah. Oh, is this you? It's like the thing with state of Florida. Can you read, sir? It says state of Florida. Is this mine? No, it's the state of Florida. What are you? Should I call somebody, sir? Are you okay? You know, like, because you just play them like, oh, you would play this game. I'm totally can play this game. Like, you have no idea. So you just play it in your favor, you know. They don't have because you signed the trust. This is a Christian loophole. Jesus Christ has authority over you, and they don't. Period. End of story. I've tested this to the death many times, and so go watch all the testimonials and blah blah blah. Right, but I'm just saying, it never sticks to you. Whatever they're asking about, it's like no, that's what It just never sticks to you. You're the natural person where you need to be, and you're like, oh well, yeah, I can answer your questions about that, but you never are the corporation. You're never the person. uh but you could talk and whatever. You have to realize, if you really want to play games with them, you have to realize what you're up against, and they can read your thoughts and mind. So uh, you have to really know what you're doing before you mess with them. But playing it dumb and stuff like that gets right to them, and they just don't want to do it. And they're like, just get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Don't play super dumb when you're super smart. That's not fun.
Yeah.
But that's what I do. Uh, they
Can
hate
can
it's
I
the most.
can can I try my hand at that one a little bit?
Totally.
Tell me if I'm right. The social security number person, the all caps name, right? That's a sole proprietorship. That's a it's just like a corporation, the LLC, whatever. It's just another version of what that is.
Yeah.
And so when you sign this trust, you're creating uh, another vehicle, which is recognized just like the sole proprietor, single person, or the LLC or a corporation. So this trust is recognized just like that. So you're saying, well, I'm driving this vehicle as a trust, and that social security number vehicle is over there. So I don't want to say you have a split personality, but you're just running different versions of yourself, depending on who you're talking to, like you're saying. So if you meet someone who understands trust, you can talk to them that you have a trust. If you meet someone that doesn't have a trust, you say, yes, I have a social security number just like you, and that's that.
Yeah, you play it, however it makes your day easier.
Yeah, yeah,
They're just different corporations. A trust is a corporation, right? You created life, corporate life, right?
right.
Created life on paper, just a corporation. So these are different corporation with different attributes. Now you're running a person. Now you're running a trust. You got two different corporations you're running. Great.
Lance is here. How do I put a house with a mortgage in a trust? Do I have to have paid it off before I put it in the trust?
Now, the USA has a rule, the Saint Germain Act. No, you don't have to do that because you're not erasing the debt. You see what I'm saying? You're not trying to avoid your debt. You're not, we're enslaved to the bankers. There would be a rule. If you're trying to get out of being slaves to us, there, of course, there's a rule against that. And even if there isn't a rule, you couldn't do it. But no, it's actually not a problem because you're not saying, I'm getting out of the mortgage. You're saying basically, I'm changing it into another entity, but I'm not really changing ownership. You see what I'm saying? Because you're still the one who you just switch it over from an entity to another entity, basically for tax reasons. You know what I mean? And this is a tax reason. So no, it's totally legal to do. It doesn't do a sale clause because it's not a sale. It's not you're the individual who's still running both corporations. So no worries. No problem with that, and it doesn't have anything to do with like a reason put it in the trust. One of the reasons is to get real estate tax exemption. So I got to change ownership. That's probably where Lance's question comes from. So yeah, you can do it, and they don't doesn't matter on this side of, oh, are we going to approve real estate tax exemption? Whether there's a mortgage or not has nothing to do with the answer to that question. You see, so it is good. They are separable because there are different issues at play there. So yeah, no problem. Lance, look up the Saint Germain Act if you want to read all about it.
Marion, hello, Jack and Tim. Got a quick question. Once a property is in a trust, how can the property be sold to a person? Just the trustee's approval is needed? Thanks and blessings.
Yes, that is true. Yes. The answer is these are two different questions. So you did answer your question, but there are actually two answers to that question. So you got one of the answers correct. So you would just, how do you handle any sale of real estate? You choose someone to handle the closing, a lawyer, right? So law firm, or in different states are called different things. But that's who does it. Yeah. That's who you pay of the fees and so on, get title insurance company, the whole list of things of whoever is going to be your real estate agent, closing, combo, whatever you got going, right? That's what's going to happen. They're going to do it. And so you're like, oh, it's in a trust. And the lawyer, whoever's sure, okay, let me see all the paperwork. And they do the paperwork for you. It goes from a trust to whomever. Maybe you're selling to somebody who puts it in a trust too. The lawyer's like, okay, here you go. I got all that. And then you sign. Okay, this is supposed to be in that. That's supposed to be. They do that, or your side and the other side. You see, whatever is called for, person, trust, whatever, they do that. That's the answer. You just answer that. Second answer, though, you could sell the trust if it's all.
I was just
Uh,
gonna suggest that one.
it's possible. It's more theoretical than anything, right? Because you would need someone savvy on the other side. And the only reason that you may want to do it, that I can see, the only reason you may want to do it is because you have successfully got real estate tax exemption approval, and
Mhm.
that makes, if you lower expenses, you develop the land, so now it's worth more because this annual fee is lower, no real estate taxes. So
Yep.
if you could think like that and get that across, but that's not many people, and you would have had to have gotten approval. So we're talking about a rare event, although theoretically it's possible. You understand it. So, but you answered the main question there, Marion. Good question. Okay. Thank you. I knew
I
Tim knew that one too.
I was liking that one. Someday I want to do that. I just want to make somebody else the successor, the like a successor trustee. Just name them as trustee, and and I'll just swap trusts with them.
Isn't this so cool?
Theirs is full of Bitcoin or whatever has value that day, and mine has the house in it. And we just go, okay, now you're
Here's
trustee of this
your
one,
eight
and
and a half
you're
by
trustee.
11. Here's your 8.5 by 11. Thank you. Thank you.
It'd be one of the easiest closings in history, right there.
That's so wonderful. I have a real estate thing I want to bring up after we get through questions. It's a current events thing. I like all this real estate because I want to use it as a segue to a thing that
Okay.
I think is funny to talk about.
Chris is asking, doesn't a trust need to name a beneficiary? If yes, then who's the beneficiary?
Yeah, no, a trust does not need to name a beneficiary. No, no, no. In fact, it's against your religion as a Christian. You see what I'm saying? So we're guaranteed religious freedom. So no, absolutely, naming a beneficiary is actually against this Christian loophole as a Christian because I don't go into this much, but a side benefit of this signing this trust is eternal life, i.e., you can't be killed. So saying you should name a beneficiary, saying you can be killed, is against being a Christian. And it's true, you can't be killed. I've proved that so many times. So, uh, no, you don't need to be named. And that's the religious answer that they're like,
Mhm.
well, you want to hear some more? Yeah, they're like, oh crap. You always religious out on the First Amendment thing, and then they're like, get out of here. Like, no, but I actually am explaining to
Mhm.
For real. The real reason why this loophole exists. I explained the religious reason. This is a religious loophole, and that's the truth what I just told you. See, so no, that's the answer. Good question.
And I've said it before on the show that when I went in to open the trust, this new manager, I was opening up a second trust. The new manager says, "Well, you have to have a beneficiary." I said, "Well, I don't have one on my first trust that's opened with this bank." And they were like, "You don't?" And I was like, "Well, every time I was at X bank, we had to have a beneficiary." And so she called the other manager at the other branch and said, "Hey, he's opening up another one, and it doesn't have a beneficiary named." Oh, okay, here we go, and it was a done deal. So yeah, some people just don't know or don't understand why you wouldn't name a beneficiary. You can explain all that, or you could just say it doesn't have to be there, and that's all I said. I said it doesn't. I don't have to name a beneficiary.
So funny.
So yeah,
Yeah, good,
um,
great question, and yeah,
yeah.
real world experience from your all USA realtor here. If you need one, who's not trying to sell their house right now? You go on, get in touch with Tim Judge. Oh my God, should I?
Um, Robert's back with my first name, last name trust would have a successor trustee that would go in the trust minutes or in the indenture.
If you want a successor trustee, which I don't recommend, but you could do it, you can do it. Uh, you could do it on a separate form, and there's a course in your coursework called How to Add or Remove Someone from a Trust, and successor trustee is dealt with individually in a list of things in there. So just go watch that little video with the clear instructions to answer your question on how to do it. Okay. Good question, Robert. I don't want to answer it here because it's on your screen. I want you to get it exactly right. You see, and you have that course, so check it out. Good question.
There you go. Q in the house. If you open a ministry trust account at a credit union, whose name is supposed to be on the debit card, the trustee, or the ministry trust name?
Doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't matter. That's the bank's like just let they set a default. You know what I'm saying on their choice, what they want to do. By the way, when you swipe your debit card, they don't read the name on the card. They don't. No one cares. They're reading
Yeah.
the information on the electronic information where you swipe it or tap it. They're not reading the name. You see,
My card has the
doesn't
name
matter.
and the trust underneath it, so it has both on there.
I've had it all different ways. I've had the trust by itself. I've had trust in personal name, and I've had only a personal name. I've had it all different ways. So it's a bank policy. And if you want it another way when you're interacting with them, you can probably change it. It just has a default setting at every bank. Some banks have a different default setting. So be like, hey, can you put this on my card? They're like, sure, we'll send you a new card. It'll be that's how you do it. So, but as far as if it matters, it don't matter at all. It's strictly interior bank policy. People get hung up on it, but I'm like, why? What? Who cares? It's got the numbers and the electronic thing. That's what they use. Things
Yeah.
working, right? Okay, who cares?
Look who's here. Roxy Wright says hello to my two favorite people.
Oh,
Wow, that's
right,
putting me
right
up way
back,
too high of a
favorite,
pedestal right there.
favorite of ours. I can say it for Tim too. And then I don't mean just me and Tim. I mean everybody here. Listen to everybody. Favorite of ours, everybody. All right, Roxy, and my best to your family. What a wonderful family. I got to meet him, and you're just so wonderful. Uh,
I can't wait for her update. Last time she was on, she was saying she was filling up the RV and going to Florida and doing some work and stuff like that. So pretty soon I want her to come back on and give us an update about what's going on. Please,
I
Roxy.
mean, the thing is when you meet Roxy, you meet with her, you're like, you leave like, I'm not doing enough with my
Yeah,
life.
I was just gonna say
What?
that. I just
You know what I mean?
I'm not working hard enough.
Exactly. Am I getting enough out of life over here?
Yeah,
Doesn't seem like it to go, by looking at Roxy over there. But they're a wonderful crew, and they're happy with their life, and they're having a wonderful time. It was great to meet them all. Thanks for stopping by, Roxy.
Alex has mine too. Thank you, Alex. Robert's back. Martin Gorman is my direct lead to LLA. Yes.
He's great.
He says, as this trust is written, it can be used for all my day-to-day needs. Yes. This is
100%.
not sorry. This is not a self-enrichment event referring to the concise trustee book. I don't know
Uh,
about a concise trustee book. Is there a concise trustee book I
oh,
don't know about?
what? Sorry. Why is it not on the tip of a wise biz concise trustee handbook, right? Uh, that's good, you know, like NASA's good, you know what I mean, for certain things and bad for other things, you know. I have a certain amount of their book, Wise Biz, right? Concise Trustee Handbook, actually in the Liberty Aid stuff, but I'll have a whole bunch of this stuff I cut out. It just has the terms. Like, not everyone knows like trustee means this, you know,
Mhm.
beneficiary means this. A few basic terms that they have in there, useful and helpful. But the rest of it, where's the real world proof that you use a trust only like this is so on? Weissman don't have it. I have that. You see what I'm saying? And so that stuff, it's not helpful if it hasn't been proven out there in the real world today, 2025. Who cares about all that nonsense they wrote? You see, the only reason I look at that is just for terms. I think they're good at definitions, but
Mhm.
past that, it's just a whole bunch of weighing you down information. This is this is not the way the wealthy elite use it. You see, go look how they use it. They're just running. They're doing what we're doing. They're making their
Right.
life easier. They're not making all these extra millions of paperwork steps, all this stuff that Weissman's done. No good, no good. You see, Weiss's, concise.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Roxy
Hey,
will update very soon.
hey,
Woohoo!
Roxy, it's always great to hear from it, and love to your family.
All right. Jay says you're the best too, Roxy.
Yeah, we had a wonderful gathering. Not only I got to meet her crew, we got to meet each other. It was good.
Robert says the beneficiary does not have to be in the document. Does it have to be in the minutes as yet named? It works for me. Private.
Minutes can be oral and do not have to be written. And so, talk to yourself about who a beneficiary might be, but you don't name it. And then you go, oh, yeah, God's watching over me, so I don't have to name one. And you have your chat, and it's your internal minutes, and you talk some minutes with me, and the minutes are over talking about it.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. You don't need, and that's where Weisses can hang you up. I got to write all these minutes. Oh, for who? For
Yeah.
God knows everything, watches everything. That's who you side with. And that's useful. You don't have to write as much down. You're
Right.
watching everything. So you're like, okay, buddy, that's, I better watch what I'm doing over here. Everything. You're watching everything? Okay, I'm a little tense about that, but I'll try and get used to it. Okay, so you don't have to write everything down, right? That's God. That's who you sign up with. You're like, okay.
The I believe that wording is in the trust that you don't have to write down the minutes, and if you do write down the minutes, it doesn't have to be notarized. I think that's in the trust. And if it's not in the trust, I said that to the banker because I named a trustee, I named a successor trustee in my trust in the minutes that I attached for the bank. And because I wanted them to know that my wife was going to be the successor trustee of this and, whatever. And they were like, "Oh, this should be notarized." And I'm like, "Nope. The trust says it doesn't have to be notarized. You just take that. It's got my signature on it, and that's it." And they were like, "Okay."
Exactly. In the end, we're talking about all the things and stuff, but how you use it as a super fast spell, the
Right.
way that Tim just did it. And here's the other super fast spell that you use. They go, "Oh, did you have anything?" And they would, "Oh, and you answer, "Oh, it's a private trust." So,
Right.
everyone thinks a private trust means you can't show it. It don't mean that. It means you're creating yourself. But this is where you use programming on your side.
Right.
Oh, it's a private trust. So Okay.
And that was the only thing. That was the only thing from the minutes from that day or whatever. Because I'm not going to write down me trying to convince my wife that this was a good idea and all that kind of stuff. That was in the minutes, the oral minutes, but it didn't make the page where I brought to the bank. I said, if she comes in and I'm gone, let her do what she's got to do. Um,
Well, you see, minutes now, what I said is God watching everything. So any minute you live is just the minutes of your life. Okay. The minute says, well, I decided this. So you don't have to say it out loud. God hears everything you do, everything you decide and how you act. It's all weighed. And so that actually is how it works, you see. And their God's the same way. So that's the way it works. But you
uh,
flip answer and get out of the room.
Yeah, Joseph's saying section 10 of the trust regarding the minutes of the trust. I'm not clean on this, and then he quoted it. Notarization is not required. There you go. When inked fingerprints or signatures, right? So my wife and I signed the paper saying if I'm not around, my wife gets to come in the minute sheets, and that's the minute sheet. Yeah, that's exactly what I said to the banker. I think this probably came in before I made that answer, but I think that's what we were talking about, right? It says
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be notarized, just signed. So I signed it. I said my wife is the successor trustee, and she signed it, and I gave it to the bank, and they said, "Doesn't this have to be notarized?" I said, "No. Look at section 10." When it was sitting in front of me, right? It's not here right now, but yeah, that's exactly what I said.
For ease of speedy instruments in certain situations, try to get things done, like an account open. That's all that's for.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yep. Chris, back with many of the testimonials talked about a document being registered. Not sure if it was the trust or something else. Isn't registering anything giving the state the thing being registered?
No, of course not. Uh, so a corporation is registered, right? So let's say Exxon. Exxon is registered. So is this, communist China where now Donald Trump was elected to own everything you own? You
Mhm.
don't own it anymore. Exxon's like, oh, that sucks. We don't own Exxon anymore. Nope, that's not the way it works here. In the U.S. a green country, they that's not the way we change hands of everything. Somebody won the pack fight, and we have someone new is running the pack. No, that's not and they own everything now. Cow down. No, you know, we're not animals like that. So no, registering a trust. People ask about this. Well, what if I get an EIN? This is the way they typically ask it, but I know this question because I've been asked it a million times. Typically, this question is asked like this, Chris. It says, "Well, hey, get an EIN. Oh, that makes a private trust public, don't it? Now, when they got jurisdiction, no, because private means you create it yourself. You see, so
Right.
you didn't uncreate it yourself when you got an identifier to use it and open a bank account. Nah, that's not the way it works. So same with registration, same thing. You're just like you're doing it. Why? Because it has to be registered or you won't be approved by lenders because they'll have no recourse because they won't know your address of legal registration. Where if you default on a loan, they don't have a legal address to send the court documents and lawsuit and all that stuff too. They don't have a legal address or record. That's what it's for. It's for lending, you see. So no, it's just doing a step and adding something to an existing private trust. It's not like uh, you could do things with this trust. It's a qualifier. It qualifies you in a spiritual way, in a legal way, in a tax exempt way. It does different things at different times. So you could use an attribute of the trust as an identifier, as a qualifier, as you go when it helps you. That's what it's for. Uh,
Hmm.
this trust means the assets within it, you maybe the money, real estate, all those things qualify for any, you have some benefits over there. You got to apply for them. You benefit. The IRS gives the distinction of 501c3 without application, except for the EIN application. That is the application. That's how you get it. So Anyway, good question. I think that was a thorough go over, maybe too
Yep.
thorough.
Robert says, "Great chat, guys. Yes, the handbook got me a little tripped up. That could
No worries.
happen.
That
That could
happens.
happen." Chris saying that's funny. A lot of people will follow what you tell them. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you people are going to know a lot more about the trust and its workings than your average bear. So if you speak knowledgeably, then they're going to just follow right along with you. And that's because you do know more. When you get in there and study this and do it, it'll become second nature. So they follow along. Alex saying, "God bless you, John."
God bless you too. If we, thank you. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to shorten this to what I want you to hear about this, Tim. I might as well do this on camera. This is so funny.
Yeah.
In China, basically, they're doing the '08 crash kind of, and this is what they are doing. Why their real estate is crashing. Most people don't know this, but I'm going to explain this in a quick way so that maybe people understand it. Okay, this is a way investors people are making money in real estate. Okay,
Hmm.
and this is propping up the economy in China. Let me just be very clear about this. Okay, so okay, I want to purchase a house, but the reason I want to do it is because I want to make money and sell it to somebody else. And you're like, okay,
Right.
okay, so this is the way they do it in China. You go and you go to purchase a house and somebody sells it to you at a certain amount. Okay, great. Now you want to sell it. Okay, great. Whoever you sell it to, oh, okay, I need to get this much money out of it. All right. So let's say it's at, 100,000. And, the next guy, they want to make 200,000 on the sale. Oh, okay. But that's like in a month. How are you going to do that?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
this is how you do it. The second one goes to the appraiser and they just pay him some money and then they get an appraisal that's
Yeah.
worth 200 grand. You see? At a bank, the approval process for loans in China is send me appraisal. You
Right.
get the loan. No market comps, nothing like that. Send in an appraisal you pay for, and here's the 200 grand. Okay. So, what I'm saying? Let's say but you buy it, let's say not for 200 grand. Let's say you buy it for, you know, not 200. I was just using 200. Let's say it's for 150, you buy it for not the 200. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Or let's use the 200 example, but you get an appraisal for 300. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? Well, you're
Hmm.
just buying it for 200. You could go out there and pocket the 100 at the closing,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
of every real estate sale.
Mm.
So everyone's an investor. How would everyone not be real estate?
Right.
How would real estate not go up?
Oh,
Anyway, those are the rules in China real estate, in case you didn't know. They're shockingly similar to the
oh wait.
'06 rules that
Yeah.
changed at the end of '06, '07. The crash that happened to '08 happened to me '06. The day
Yep.
the rule changed, I didn't get, my approval for the loan and everything was like, kaboom, whoosh, you know. But anyway, that's what China's doing with their entire economy. If that's their real estate, it's just
Yeah.
they're like, we know what the last date is, and we're going nuts over here. It's like you are, aren't you? You're just nothing. You're not hiding nothing. You're just, when it's closing up shop here, you're going crazy. Good
Yeah.
for you. Wow.
Well, somebody's gonna get caught with the last hot potato. The Big Short. That movie, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's just crazy when they start going to talk to the real estate guys, and that's a crazy movie, all about the whole banking fiasco and the real estate end of it. And when they go to visit some guy in the real estate agents in Florida, they were like, "Yeah, we're just flipping houses to everybody. We got two bartenders have four houses on this block, and a hairdresser has three houses over here, and they're going to rent them out." And the banker guys were like, "What? You got bartenders and hairdressers buying multiple houses? How is this possible? Oh, it doesn't matter. They're going to be able to rent them out because we said the rent roll was going to be able to do this." And they were like, "Oh my gosh, the whole thing's going to fall apart." crazy movie, and it's so sad but true. It was a true movie.
Well,
Just
the thing is,
nuts.
the cool thing is, if you're copying everything and you're not creating anything yourself, like China copies everything America does, well, you're going to copy the crash too. And what they're doing now is they copied it. They're like, you know what? Let's pick up speed a little bit. How about
Yeah.
we just take appraisals? No cops, no nothing. They're like, we can amp this thing up like crazy. Anyway, I just thought it was so funny to hear that. I wanted to pass that on. Talk about a crash coming, make ours look like
Yes.
nothing coming up. Theirs just going into like super hyper mode. Anyway, a giggle for the end of the show. Tim, good to have
Yep.
you back. Good to
Good to
have
be
you.
here.
Do your work in the summer and come, school season and all that stuff where you're actually busy. Have your trust somebody be like, well, man, we're saving all that money this year. So get on it, people. Get the trust, okay? We're here to help you. See you next week at 7 on
See you
Thursday.
next week. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Tim.